of these marriages were naturalized U.S. citizens from China, including one green card holder.
The facilitators use social media and other forms of advertising to market fraudulent immigration services to foreign nationals, primarily from China, and Chinese nationals would pay these facilitators as much as $100,000 for assistance in obtaining a marriage.
They would then apply for fraudulent green cards. The U.S. citizens participating in this scheme would then get paid as much as $30,000. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
A former Southern Poverty Law Center official has been charged in the Justice Department's broader criminal case against the civil rights group. Heidi Beirich, who served as the group's chief financial officer, is charged with fraud, conspiracy, and other offenses. One of the most historic franchises in the NBA has been sold again.
The Los Angeles Lakers are reportedly being sold to Josh Kushner and Bob Iger for a record-breaking price of $12.5 billion. ESPN was first to report the sale, which is now the largest for a North American sports franchise. The move is seen as a surprise, as Kushner and Iger had been working together on landing a possible expansion franchise in Las Vegas, and also because the Lakers were sold just last year by the Buss family to Mark Walter, who bought them for $10 billion. But they've been sold again, creating $2.5 billion profit in 10 months.
Fox's Tony Genualdo, the sale still needs the approval of the NBA's Board of Governors. Their next meeting is next month. I'm Lisa Lacera, and this is Fox News.
Time saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
In Pensacola, watch for a crash with road blockage north Old Palafox Highway at Brent Lane. Also, we have some slowdowns developing on the Bayway east on I-10 from I-65 to the Eastern Shore. It's a 17-minute drive. On the Foley Beach Express from Highway 59 to Canal Road, it's a 20-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Bakke.
This report is sponsored by Audible. When you start listening to books on Audible, traffic might seem like less of an annoyance and more of an opportunity for another chapter. Audible, stories that speak to you. New members can start listening with a 30-day free trial at audible.com.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
News Radio 710.
Thank you so much for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Yes, once again, here we are together, me and you here, just the two of us, on the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. You being a listener to the program. Even if you just turn the show on, I don't know if you're driving around. I don't know what you're doing. And you know what? I don't want to know. It's none of my dadgum business. But I'm just glad you're there. But if at times this is a little too much for you, if you're listening on an actual radio, you can just, if you need to walk away from the radio a little bit, just leave the show on. Just leave me on. You don't have to. You just walk away from it if you need to, and then come back. Whatever it takes. I'm just glad we're here together, me and you, trying to figure out what's going on. That's the main. I think this is kind of therapy for me, trying to figure out what is going on and chart that just chart everything that is going on all around us that seems nuts. Well, this is a Wednesday, if I understand calendars correctly. It's a Wednesday. And more I noticed on my social media feeds, especially up on that disgusting Facebook, just clogged up with these back-to-school pictures, all this taught narcissism of, look at me, look at us, all these back-to-school pictures. Back to school today. for the Baldwin County Public Schools, the Gulf Shores Public Schools, the Catholic schools, the wonderful people that are trying so hard in Chickasaw. God bless them. And, you know, if you got a prayer list, you might put I know Pritchard needs to be on there because of what's going on with their lack of leadership there. Might I add Chickasaw? They're trying hard in Chickasaw. They really are. They're trying hard. Put them on the prayer list. So a lot of back to school. A lot of back to school. And it reminds me, anytime I talked about this Monday, going to school without the air conditioning, and it just makes me feel so excited that I have a job that has air conditioning. It's a plus. It's one of those things. If you're looking for jobs, that I would recommend that if you have more than one job offer, you ask about the air conditioning, because down here it's very important. We've got it set. I don't know what level of freezing it's set on, but it is a wonderful shock. They say it's good for you when you go from extreme heat to extreme cold, that it's somehow it's good for the circulatory system or something. I don't know what it does to you, because you always see about these rich people. They'll go from a sauna into a cold plunge, and they claim, my brain works better and my body works better because I got really hot and then I went and did a cold plunge. Well, we have something similar here. You're out in the heat with high temperatures outdoors, and then you walk into the building and it's like a cold plunge. I'm getting health benefits from this job I didn't realize. But hey, anyway, back to school. I hope everything, if you had kids going off and coming home from school today, I hope everything went well for you and that it's a good school year. I know that the beginning of school can be a time of high emotion for many students, because young people, middle school, high school, are known for their inability to properly regulate their emotions and their reactions to life. And so I hope everything went okay and that there's not some first day of school upset or something. I hope everything is fine as you go through your school year and your first week of school. Now, if you'd like to call the show for whatever reason, we've got plenty to talk about. There's a lot of junk going on that we can talk about. Telephone number to call is 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. The email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. I mentioned the first day of school for Baldwin County, and this week Fox 10 has been sending one of their reporters, Stephen Moody. He does an outstanding job. They've been sending him to the first day of school at different school systems. He was in Mobile County Public Schools Monday. I forget where he went yesterday. So I'm sure it was nice. He went somewhere yesterday that started school. And today, they sent him to Daphne. So let's this is a brief report. Let's listen together as Fox 10's Stephen Moody interviews teachers on the first day of school at a Daphne elementary school, I think Jubilee Elementary.
These students making history Wednesday morning as the first to step into the brand new Jubilee Elementary in Daphne, the school named after Daphne's nickname, the Jubilee City. And it was an important day, not just for the teachers and students, but for...
Now, I'm sorry to pause already. I didn't realize this was the first time students have been in that particular school. What a fresh school. I'm trying to think about this. I think every school that I attended during my life was somewhat dilapidated. Now, it was, you didn't have the ceiling falling in on you or nothing like that when I was going to school. And there was glass in most of the windows. Most of them, not all, but most of them had glass. But I'm thinking back, I don't think I've ever been as a student in a brand new school. What an exciting thing. These children are going to have different expectations for public education as they grow up through the schools. Because they're going to the elementary school and it's brand new. They're going to think that all schools should look good. That's something that many Alabama public school students didn't have the expectation of, at least when I was going to public schools. I've been to some really, again, no offense. They were all doing their best, I'm sure, with the tax dollars they had available. I've gone to some nasty schools. I have. So congratulations to these little children. All right, back to Stephen Moody's report on the brand new Jubilee Elementary
City. And it was an important day, not just for the teachers and students, but for Baldwin County staff as well.
Kids are smiling. The parents are smiling.
All right, this is a school superintendent giving a play-by-play. I think this is the superintendent of Baldwin County Schools. All right, so students are smiling. I guess that's important.
For Baldwin County staff as well.
Kids are smiling. The parents are smiling.
All right, kids and parents smiling.
Things are going very well in the car line.
Car line going well.
Kind of gets a little intense during the morning times, but especially here at the beginning of school. But everybody's doing wonderful.
I'm sorry to interrupt again. The car line. The last time I helped with a relative, picking up a relative in a car line was I guess it was about 20 years ago. Things did get really tense in the afternoon. People wanted to be in position. They wanted to be in the right position for that car line. You had people showing. It looked like they were parking out there right after lunch trying to get in the car line. It can get intense in the car line.
The kids are great. The teachers are can't wait to see their kids. It's just an exciting time.
It takes a lot to open a new school because everything's new to everyone. So there's a little bit of anxiety and anxiousness for all the community and everything, but we're all working together, being patient with each other and flexible, knowing that these procedures and operating systems are first time today.
This teacher mentioned anxiety. I didn't realize they still had anxiety. I thought that had been medicated out of the population through a variety of drugs.
So it's exciting.
Parents we spoke with were also excited to see the new building.
I think it's awesome. It's a beautiful school. The staff seems great.
Now, the parent not under any pressure. Educators feel like they got to speak properly when they're on TV. The parent doesn't have to have the same vocabulary. They can use the word awesome.
Systems are first time today. So it's exciting.
Parents we spoke with were also excited to see the new building.
I think it's awesome. It's a beautiful school. The staff seems great. Super clean. It probably won't be that way a week from now once the kids get in there, but it's nice. We're excited.
And as the new school year begins, administrators say that the first day is an important one in setting the tone.
It is very important that we set the tone for the students because we want them to know that they're loved here, that we support them.
All right, they're setting the tone. I'm sorry to interrupt so many times in this report, this professionally delivered report from Fox 10 with professional journalists and all that kind of stuff. But setting the tone. And the first word was love. You know, I had some good teachers, I guess. I say I guess because I can write and I can read. So that's a plus. I think that counts for something. I don't remember any of this love business. In fact, setting the tone when I went to school was sit down in your desk, be quiet, don't talk while I'm talking. That was the tone that I remember being said. I don't remember love and all this stuff. Let me hear a little bit more about the tone.
The tone for the students because we want them to know that they're loved here.
Loved here?
That we support them.
Supported? I didn't feel supported.
And their families and our community.
We want to provide the...
All right, back to the school superintendent. What does he want to provide?
Best educational opportunity for our kids. And this right here is just another testament to what Baldwin County Public Schools is doing throughout the county.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
By the way, the superintendent there in Baldwin County has a good Southern accent. It's reassuring for me, for people of my generation, to hear that Southern accent. He sounds like somebody that's been in the woods at some point. I don't know that he is or has been. He just sounds like he's been in some woods, maybe even down a dirt road. Again, congratulations to all the people that got their kids in school safely, and congratulations to the children that had a tone set of love and support. As I mentioned, when I went to school, I think the tone set was, if you act up, we're going to pull out this paddle. That was then. This is now. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Uncle Henry. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, roll. Reagan girl, what is on your mind today, Reagan girl?
Well, I was listening to this report that you just played, and, maybe when I was going to school, maybe the teachers were cruel in people's opinion, because I went to Catholic school, first grade through the 12th grade. And, some of these nuns that taught school, I think that the kids these days, I think they would be scared half to death. I didn't get all these hugs and love and, puppies and unicorns and rainbows.
Right.
It was sit down, shut up, keep your hands to yourself, and listen. And if you didn't, you got to pop on your knuckles with a ruler. I mean, that's just the way it was.
That is true. That is true.
Exactly. And I just, I don't understand the kids these days. Just go to school, and they need the lockers. I don't know what's happened to lockers now. They actually need books that you hold in your hand, paper and pencils and pens. I just don't understand. I'm surprised we do not have seniors in high school walking around with little nap pads, from our days in kindergarten. But, Uncle Henry, that was just my thoughts, and you have a good evening.
All right, well, Reagan girl, thank you for calling. Great to hear from you.
Oh, good to talk to you. Take care.
There she goes, Reagan girl. Yes, when she was in school, sit down. Yeah, I was told, sit down and learn, or you're going to grow up to be a bum. That's what I was told. And back then, you could say the word bum, and people knew what it meant. It was a great fear. It was one of my parents' top fears. I guess if they had a top 3 fear, one of the top 3 would be that I would become a bum. I don't know that people use that word anymore. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hey, you are live on the radio.
Hey, I agree with that last lady. We're too soft on the dang kids these days, making them bad.
You know what? We really are. We are so dadgum soft on these kids.
Instead of just worrying about their learning and how they feel in their feelings, we just need to punch them in the mouth.
No, we don't know. Now, what's the matter with you? Hello? What is the matter with you wanting to punch a child?
It makes them tough.
Well, it might make them tough, but it's against the law to punch a kid in the mouth. Do you want to make a kid? What's the matter with you? Are you a psychopath?
When I went to school, we had Fight Club in the boiler room.
Okay, all right. Look, you look. Somebody punched you when you were a child. Look, I'm sorry that happened. Did you become a bum?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that didn't work. I guess we have to work with the hugs now. Unfortunately. Well, I don't want to see a child punched, but at the same time, they need to learn. All right. I support your learning. Back with more. I'm going to take a time out because I had one good call and then I had a weirdo. And that's not a good, I would prefer for a successful Uncle Henry Show experience, when I do have the luxury of callers, I would prefer like a 75% good, 25% weirdo, maybe a 30% weirdo, something like that. But I would like to keep the percentage well below 50% of the weirdos. All right, back with more Uncle Henry Show after a brief timeout here on WNTM.
On Highway 31 from Spanish Fort to Highway 59, it's a 21-minute drive. On the Foley Beach Express from Highway 59 to Canal Road, it's a 20-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. you're in good hands with Allstate.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Anna's here from Mobile Bay Coins and Fine Jewelry. Anna, are you still doing free appraisals?
We are. We do free appraisals for paper money, collectible coins, bullion, flatware, and there's no charge whatsoever.
What if I want the appraisal just for my insurance company? Is it still free?
Absolutely.
That's free appraisals at Mobile Bay Coins and Fine Jewelry, 2204 Government Street in Midtown Mobile. Or call 251-725-1590 for Mobile Bay Coins.
I'm not great with words after a fight, and I'm sorry wasn't cutting it this time. So I used Smile Tunes to write a soulful ballad about how she's always right. By the second chorus, the silent treatment was officially over. Visit SmileTunes.com and get out of the doghouse today.
Skies will be mostly clear tonight with muggy conditions, overnight lows in the upper 70s. Sunny and hot on your Thursday with a heat advisory in effect. Daytime highs near 94 with a heat index between 108 and 110. We could see a few isolated showers in the afternoon. I'm Fox 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith for this iHeartRadio station.
This report is sponsored by iHeartAdvertising.com.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. Learn how podcasting can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
Now your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our iHeart Radio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword LUCKY to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's LUCKY to 200-200.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like One Hit Wonders Radio. The greatest one-hit wonders of all time. Ones you definitely remember. And ones that'll make you say, oh yeah. Just open the free iHeartRadio app.
The Uncle Henry Show continues here on News Radio 710 WNTM. We have news headlines coming up in less than 10 minutes. Just in any number of minutes. Just expect news headlines and they will arrive eventually. Telephone number 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com if you'd like to send me an old-fashioned electronic mail message. Now, speaking of back to school, I got a voicemail that kind of touches on this. Voicemail, or if you'd like to leave a voicemail, 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976 to leave a voicemail message for the Uncle Henry Show.
Roll Tide, Uncle, had to go back and watch the replay of yesterday's program. I was up at the brand new Loxley Elementary School with the meet and greet of Sarita's teacher this year. Man,
congratulations to Baldwin County on, I guess with all the people moving into Baldwin County, they need to build as many schools as is possible.
See what, I don't know how much bread was spent to build that place, but that there is one nice schoolhouse, buddy. And big, and it's just first through the 6th grade, I reckon. Says elementary is all, so. But they got redirected up there this year because we still live in just barely Loxley. And several of them that was going to Robertsdale, such as Sarita, had to go there. I told her she was kind of fretting it a little bit, being new and all that. And I said, well, look at it this way. You'll be graduating the 6th grade. You'll be the first ever graduating class of that particular Loxley Elementary School. I think that kind of cheers her up.
You know, now, 69-year-old Chris, excellent child psychology being used there. of finding the silver lining. Always look for the silver lining. Well done.
I think that kind of cheered her up. Hey, and speaking of, I went back and watched that YouTube video today. Man, did you get you a new rug? Boy, you was coiffed. I mean, look out. Who did that for you? Was that your new bride? Did she insist on that, or perhaps your mom?
My
I'm curious
mom.
about them sort of things. You look kind of like a cross between Jerry Lee Lewis and Steve Martin. That's just my opinion. Hey, you have a good one.
69-year-old Chris of West Loxley, thank you very much for your voicemail. Voicemail number 251-216-1976. Yes, I have a new hairpiece. I'm wearing a new hairpiece. I hate changing from one hairpiece to the other. But when they get old and worn out, I have no choice. Just trust me on this. I don't want to get into the reasons, but you don't want a hairpiece to overstay its welcome on your head. It can be very unpleasant in a variety of ways. And I don't know if I'll be using this one. I hate breaking in a new one because it gets real tight. I got a really big fat head, and these things, they get real tight. It constricts the blood flow into my brain. I don't know if I'll keep using this one. I've got a couple of more that I've never worn that I'm looking into. Now that you've told me that I resemble Jerry Lee Lewis, then that is a sign that I maybe need to go look at the other hair pieces and see if there's something a little more businesslike for the Uncle Henry Show. Hello, caller.
Uncle Henry, how are you?
John, you are live on the radio.
Don't let these folks insult you. You look great.
Thank you.
Don't worry about that.
Thank you very much.
But yes, sir. Two different topics I wanted to, and they're a little bit related. First of all, in Massachusetts, where we live in a country where they just legalized infanticide, and they have all these women, where you can have an abortion when you're, right when you're fixing to give birth. And they just, I don't think I need a baby, and they just kill it, is just unbelievable. And these devils just are all around the governor cheering like this is something of honor and something good. I mean, it's sheer wickedness.
Well, it's to the point I have trouble understanding it. Other than it being evil at that point, aside from it, how can people justify it? I mean, it is confusingly horrible.
Well, and here's another problem, and it's the same kind of wacky, mentally ill females generally. Some of these teachers, now this is not around here, but in blue states, they try to get these kids to transgender themselves and give new names and new clothing when they get to school, which should be, I think it's illegal here, but it's not illegal everywhere. And you talk these kids into mutilating themselves and giving them testosterone and estrogen. This is actually happening. And I know this isn't a pleasant topic, but people have to be aware of what is going on in these schools. What happened, little Johnny, at school today? Tell me. What did your teacher tell you? Because they try to indoctrinate them, with just other types of politics. Those are really egregious ones, those two topics. But people have to be aware. I mean, if you're in a private school, a Catholic school or something, that's less likely. It could still happen. But people need to, God bless these children. They're the future of this country. But the way they're targeted in some parts of the country is very demoralizing.
It is. It is.
And all we can do is bring attention to it, and people, just realize that this is actually, it may not be happening here, but it is happening in parts of this country, and these things have a tendency to spread and become, as people move from one state to the other. So, but God bless the children. I think there's a pendulum, where maybe in your upbringing they were a little too tough, but now they're becoming a little too soft, and the right answer is somewhere in between. You got to discipline these kids, but you can't make them weaklings and always victims and always blaming other people.
Exactly.
That'll make them miserable adults, miserable human beings. And we see that. In some ways, universities are worse because you can't even admit, even Southern universities, you can't even admit you're conservative without being, unless you go to maybe Liberty. But in the normal ones, in the South, they've been taken over. Academia has been taken over by the left, and people have to have these talks with their children how dangerous this stuff is.
It is harder now, no doubt, to parent than it was in the past because of a lot of that stuff. John, I'm past time for the break, so I've got to run. But thank you very much for your phone call. I appreciate what you brought up on the program. There is more to come after the news break here on News Radio 710 WNTM Uncle Henry Show.
Secretary Caroline Leavitt at the end of this month. White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy Stephen Miller on Fox says,
a mother, a family woman, a press secretary, a patriot, really in every way an extraordinary person.
Leavitt confirming her departure on X, saying after welcoming her second child, she can't balance both the White House and motherhood in the way she wants. The Democratic Socialists of America have gained traction this midterm election season. Texas Congressman Brandon Gill on Fox saying young people are recognizing a problem and socialism is giving them a false solution.
Socialism is the DSA is trying to sell sort of a bill of goods to fix these problems, when in reality, it's this left-wing ideology that has created all of these problems in the first place.
In Wisconsin, the DSA had an upset after gubernatorial nominee Francesca Hong lost to David Crowley. America's listening to Fox News.
Caroline Leavitt is set to leave her role as White House press secretary at the end of the month. President Trump making that announcement on social media today, saying Leavitt's one of his most trusted aides and is stepping down, he says, so she can spend more time with her family. He says Leavitt will now be one of his top outside advisors. A military helicopter's crashed north of Austin, Texas, killing the 2 people aboard. Bell County Sheriff's spokesman Cliff Coleman says the chopper came out of Fort Hood but didn't have specifics on their mission.
It was a military helicopter, but I didn't specifically ask that question to the Criminal Investigation Division of Fort Hood.
He called it a violent crash into a field. The wreckage sparked a fire that's led to evacuations. Police in Minnesota say the 3 people, including a young child found dead at an in-home daycare, were members of the same family. The police chief in Hopkins says the 2 adults and the child were found dead at the scene this morning. The 2 adults are believed to be the owners of the daycare and the parents of the child who was killed. I'm Scott Carr.
Time saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
An accident has been moved to the right shoulder on I-10 eastbound between Theodora Dawes Road and Government Boulevard. And we have some slowing on Highway 59. From I-10 to Gulf Shores, it's a 50-minute drive. Also on the Foley Beach Express from Highway 59 to Canal Road, it's a 20-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Bakke.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Hey, Uncle Henry here with 2 people who know a thing or two about financial stability. Meet John McNeil and Virginia O'Brien with Mobile Bay Financial Solutions.
Hi, I'm John. In today's unpredictable economy, staying informed is essential.
And I'm Virginia. We will help you make smart decisions,
even when the market feels uncertain.
Our strategies evolve with inflation, market shifts, and policy changes, so you don't have to worry. From retirement planning to legacy planning, we offer more than investment advice.
We help you manage emotional discussions with clarity and confidence. Let's talk about your goals and where we can help. Call us today at 251-666-5000. That's 666-5000.
Mobile Bay Financial Solutions, navigating what's next together.
Advisory services offered through Mobile Bay Financial Services, LLC, an Alabama-registered investment advisor. We can offer investment advice in states where we are registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. The material contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice, securities, insurance, or other investment products.
No required subscriptions, no trial periods, no surprise charges, no monthly fees. iHeartRadio is different. It's 100% free. Download the iHeartRadio app now.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health
As
questions
families
required.
get ready for another school year, we're reminded that the best routines aren't built overnight. They're built by focusing on what matters most. And when it comes to dinner, that starts with quality meat. Get back to the basics with Good Ranchers. Good Ranchers partners with local farmers and ranchers to deliver 100% American meat straight to your door. It's pasture-raised, has no antibiotics, and no added hormones. It's a kind of quality you can actually feel good about serving to the people around your table. For a limited time, you can get $50 off your first Good Ranchers order. That means you can build your own box starting as low as $129. Just visit goodranchers.com/clay to get $50 off anything on.
The Uncle Henry Show continues here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Telephone number 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. In the last segment of the show, we had John on. He was talking about indoctrination of children. He didn't think we had a problem here on the Gulf Coast, but he thought in other states, little children are being indoctrinated into all kind of weird stuff by teachers in blue states, he said. It makes me wonder, when will there be a push for cameras in classes? When will this happen? To me, it seems inevitable. Maybe not in the next 5 to 10 years or even 15, but eventually it'd be easy for me to imagine a camera being in every classroom, and the way that they'd set it up is if your child was in a class, that you'd be able to go home and you'd be able to look up that hour of the day, and if you had the right credentials, watch your kid's class. I know that teachers' unions would not like that, and it would cost a lot of money, but I'm guessing that one day that will happen, because as you've heard, people argue about what kids should and should not be told. How much should the teacher indoctrinate? All that kind of stuff. I can easily imagine cameras in classrooms or personal body cams for students to wear, something like that. Again, 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. But I'm glad we haven't had any cases out of our area that would have people up in arms. That is good. I had another back to school phone call. This was a memory of going back to school.
Hey, Unc, listening to some of your stories about school when I was in kindergarten, back around 59, I guess, 1960.
All right, so this is already a good call. Somebody sharing their recollections of 1959 or 1960. This is going to be good. I don't know what he's going to say, but this is going to be good. All right, 59 to 60, going to school.
9, I guess, 59, 1960. Lived about 2 blocks away from the schoolhouse, so my first engagements of kindergarten, I didn't care for it too much. So when we went out on recess, I said, the heck with this. I just boogied on home. I didn't care for it, so I just wanted to go home and watch Lone Ranger and Gunsmoke and Have Gun Will Travel and all them other good westerns. I didn't want to stay at school, so I just walked home from recess. So I didn't care nothing about school in kindergarten. So I went to AWOL.
Hey, I'm pausing there just to let the younger people know. Younger people, I guess, under the age of 60. I don't know. But back he mentioned all these westerns. That TV used to be mostly westerns. It was. They were that popular back in the late 50s, early 60s. There was westerns on all the time, every night. You would find westerns on television. And I don't know if it was because they were cheap to make. I don't know. But people loved them, and there was a lot of them. And even though all these shows had guns, like the Lone Ranger had a gun, Gunsmoke, the gun was obviously used. That's why it was smoking. And Have Gun Will Travel. Gun was in the name of the show. We still didn't have school shootings back then. Lots of guns in pop culture and in our lives. Didn't have school shootings back then because people were different. But back to the voicemail. He went AWOL from kindergarten.
I didn't care nothing about school in kindergarten. So I went to AWOL. And you talking about fights and stuff like that. In Atlanta, later on, all our fights used to take out in football field out behind the high school. So
yes.
They meet you out on the football field, and that's where we used to get down. Have a good day. Bye.
All right, sir, thank you very much for your recollections of leaving recess, leaving school, and going to watch television as a small child. That was back when TV was still new and a big deal. Now, leaving school early, that is something that the biggest trouble I've ever gotten into in my life in a school was because I had the same kind of attitude when I was older. And I thought, I've just had lunch. There's these classes coming up that are just not that interesting to me. I might have more fun if I were to just go elsewhere. Yeah, that got into big trouble. Got into big trouble from that one, and certainly got a speech about my parents' desire for me not to become a bum. Sir, thanks again for your voicemail. The voicemail number, 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976 to leave a message for the Uncle Henry Show and its listeners. Now, let's see. I've got I've got more I want to get into. Let me take just a quick, but this will be a brief timeout. Back with more in just a moment as we move forward on the Uncle Henry Show.
Vehicle on the right shoulder on I-10 westbound between the tunnel and Water Street in Mobile. Also on the Foley Beach Express from Highway 59 to Canal Road, it's a 19-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Bakke.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
If you run a business and need to get your message to your next customers fast, nothing is faster than audio with iHeart. Let us help you grow your business at the speed of sound today at 844-844-iHeart.
You know her from the Today Show.
I personally think joy is a choice.
Now, Hoda Kotb hosts the Joy 101 podcast, joined by actors, athletes, experts, and everyday people who have found joy.
Even in the darkest times.
Don't get ready, people. Be ready. Be ready for the opportunity.
It takes work to rise above things.
The number one problem with communication is the illusion that it has taken place.
I mean, nothing's going to happen in your apartment.
Find your inspiration. Download the free iHeartRadio app. Search Joy 101 and listen now.
For more information about contests on this station, go to newsradio710.com/rules.
From the Peden Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electrical Weather Center.
Skies will be mostly clear tonight with muggy conditions. Overnight lows in the upper 70s. Sunny and hot on your Thursday with a heat advisory in effect. Daytime highs near 94 with a heat index between 108 and 110. We could see a few isolated showers in the afternoon. I'm Fox 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith of this iHeart Radio station.
This report is sponsored by the YMCA. Hey, Mobile, when the school day ends, families need a place they trust. At the Y, kids are known by name, supported with homework help, and surrounded by caring adults. There's no place like this place. Learn more at ymca.org/nearme.
Did you know that on average, we make 35,000 choices a day? Some good, some not so good. I'm Jenny Garth, and I have a brand new podcast called I Choose Me. Those 3 words, I choose me, were said by my character, Kelly Taylor, on Beverly Hills 90210, way back in 1995. What started as a line in a script has become a guiding force for me. I've learned that loving yourself is not selfish, because when you choose yourself, you unlock a life that aligns with your values and passions.
The Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM. News headlines coming up in less than 10 minutes. And then more. Uncle Henry Show. Telephone number 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Let's see. I have a message about the vote. There was voting yesterday. You may have noticed. And in the Republican primary that impacts where we live on the Gulf Coast, Jerry Carl did quite well. Something like 75% of the vote. Got a message about voting.
Hey, Uncle Henry, Snake Trapper. Hey, man, I am very disappointed in Mobile, Uncle Henry, and I'll tell you why. I just left the polling place, probably about 4:15. Uncle Henry, I was the only person in there other than the poll workers.
The only person voting. That you have a lot of power with that vote.
Man, that is a disgrace. I mean, Mobile, you have got to get out and vote. You need to be responsible and pick your leaders. Uncle Henry, that's exactly how communism is going to take over this country, because citizens not getting out picking their leaders. I mean, it's ridiculous. Man, I don't know, Uncle Henry. I mean, I've been voting since I was 18 years old and couldn't wait to get to that age and gonna do it till I die. But, man, that's the reason you can get a handful of, ideological idiots and, get in these, school boards and these, mayorals and, city council and even friggin' state senate and, House of Representatives on him because, I mean, nobody's getting out and vote. People, wake up. This is our country. I mean, look at what our forefathers did for us. I mean, they risk everything, Uncle Henry, and all they want us to do is to keep our republic going. People, get out and vote. You have a good day, my buddy.
Snake Trapper, thank you very much for your voicemail. The voicemail number 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976 to leave a message for the Uncle Henry Show. Yeah, tiny turnout. And I agree with Snake Trapper. We should all be going out and voting, even though I do understand how some people might be disenchanted with the politicians that they have to choose from. And they might be disenchanted by the fact that they vote for people and then they don't do what they say they're going to do. So I understand that, but don't let it discourage you to the point. You got to go out and pick some good people. So as Snake Trapper said, the next time you have an opportunity, please go out and exercise that right to vote. Now, as I mentioned, Jerry Carl won. Before we go to the news break, I think it was... I can't remember the name of the reporter. A young lady that does a great job on Fox 10 interviewed Jerry Carl at his victory party. Let's listen to a little bit of Jerry Carl talking at his victory party.
We actually have Mr. Jerry Carl here with us tonight.
It's Natalie Williamson, I believe.
And Mr. Carl, tell us, what does it mean to
Mr. Carl
to have all of your supporters, family, friends here to celebrate with you tonight?
Oh, so it was amazing. It really humbles you to know you got so many people that are supporting you. You know, I looked around the room. There were so many elected officials. There were so many people that had worked on my campaign. There was prayer warriors here. I mean, it's just a lot of people that took us through the last year together.
Yes, sir. And I know you mentioned earlier that you were expecting an important phone call. Have you gotten that yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. And what does it mean to have President Trump reach out to you?
It's quite an honor. I mean, he endorsed us, and it was game on with that. I mean, we have to. Although you get his endorsement, you still got to get out and work. I mean, you got to fill in those gaps, and the president's just been so gracious to us and worked with us, and we expect his call tonight. And, just got off the phone with Jim Jordan and some of my other colleagues from Congress, and they're all excited to get me back and get back to work.
Yes, sir.
Get back to work. One thing I'd like is for maybe once you're up in there, explain to us what is actually being done so that we can all understand.
And I know we mentioned earlier that the voting turnout for this election was pretty low. What are you
based on the Snake Trapper voicemail? Yes.
Going to do moving forward to make sure people get out to those polls in November?
So I talked to Coach Tuberville today, and as a Republican Party, we've got to figure out a way of motivating people, because if we don't, we're going to lose some seats, and those seats could be statewide, they could be small seats, but as a Republican Party, we got to stand up and fight for what we've got, and I think we're all kind of trying to fall asleep at the wheel. We assume the Republicans are going to win, and we can't go with that. We've got to earn the votes. We've got to get out and work for the people and get them excited and motivated, like you see the folks in the room here tonight. So we got a job ahead of us, and it's our job as elected officials or potentially elected officials to do that.
Yes, sir. And what can we see moving forward in the next few months as you prepare for that general election?
Well, the general election, you'll see a different type of campaign. You'll see all the different Republican campaigns kind of coming together, joining resources, focus on how we can.
I'm sure we're going to have a lot of stuff in our mailbox.
Bring one another up at the same time as a party, because that's what it's about. It's Republican versus Democrat. Any way you want to look at it. At the end of the day, that's it.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Carl.
you.
Congratulations. Yes, sir. And thank you.
This young lady is, I can't remember the last time I heard a reporter so polite. Yes, sir, Mr. Carl. Thank you, sir.
Today, that's it.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Carl.
you.
Congratulations. Yes, sir. And thank you so much. And again, we will see you.
All right, very good. And it's reassuring when you hear some common manners coming from the young people these days. All right, going to take a time out for news headlines, and I got more Uncle Henry Show junk for you here on News Radio 710 WNTM. By the way, if you want to listen to previous episodes as a podcast, I put up a bunch of the last few shows available. They're now available on the iHeartRadio app. Look for Uncle Henry Show on the iHeartRadio app or at newsradio710.com. Back after the break.